Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I and my friends from Group 1 will present our project development, which is Haira Bookstore. And this is our group members, me, Aina Rania, Nur Akila, Alia Nadira, Nur Mazliana Izzati and Nur Hidayatullah. Now let's see our project development.
Today, I would like to present about introduction of our application. This book inventory system organized to manage the inventory of books that are being borrowed using a simple console application built in C++. This system usually implemented at library where people checking out books and return it at the appointed time. This software project is built for fast data processing for checking out library process inventory. In order to make the book lending process become more efficient, we need to build a system that manage all the information details of students' username, user ID, book's author, title, and date of lending book. Whenever students want to lend book, they just input their username and user ID, book's author, title, and date of lending book. This system purpose exists to keep the data of the book lending process and at the same time reduce employees because the system is self-service. Thus, this system can make book lending activities become more efficient and systematic. In this project, we only have one user, which is the student. First, the student must log in into the database. Next, they need to key in their username, user ID, book's author, title, and date of the lending book. After that, the system will process itself and keep the data.
So, the objective for this application is to make it easier for everyone, especially students and lecturers, to check out the book that they wanted. Next, the second objective for this application is to reduce mobility or movement in the library, so students provide more time to do their revision or study.
Okay, now user of application. This may be a great way for students to make research about their assignments or group project, as well as make it easier for them to do some revision. Without noticing, we can see that sometimes teachers and lecturers also do make extra research regarding the topics that not included in the textbook. So by using this application tool, they can resolve some difficulties that encountered during the lectures. What I mean by the difficulties is maybe questions from the students. Okay, they can resolve the difficulties by using this application. Thus, we can conclude that this application could provide a simple answer not just for students, professors, or lecturers, but also for everyone else too.
Okay, we talk about the overview about this application. Okay, as we know, it's really hard for someone to check out a books in a huge library for a one times, but by these applications and system, it can help them to check out the books in a short periods of time, and they can continue the assignment and task happily. Okay, this system also can be used not only for the student, but it also can be used for the lecturer and anyone who loves to gain the knowledge. In the points of view, this system is really useful to use any times, and maybe for the future we can create more friendly and portable technologies. With one click, we can get a new knowledge. So let's get productive with Haira Bookshops.
Okay, next, the advantages of this application. Number one, time saving. By having this application, you doesn't need to queue in a long line, or you doesn't have to queue at all to check out your book.
your books, the books that you want to read. Just logging into this application and fulfill our requirements such as title of the book, author of the book, and date that you want to check out. And then if you new here, don't worry, you just need to create new account and then fulfill all the requirement needed. Okay. Number 2, easy to use. By having any gadgets such as mobile phones or tablet, you can easily access our application to check out our books. Whenever you are, you can still check out the books of your liking and return it as well.
Here is appendix where you can find pseudocode, flowchart, C++ application, and the application image.
Okay, let me proceed for the pseudocode. Okay, what is a pseudocode? Pseudocode is logical sequence of steps to solve the problem in the simples of English statement. Okay, there are one things that we need to know about the pseudocode, which is IPO. What is IPO? Okay, IPO is I stand for input, P is stand for processing, and O is stand for output. After we identify this IPO, then we can start doing our pseudocode. For doing this pseudocode, there are some rules, which is we need to start with start and we need to finish it with end. Okay, the types of the pseudocode that we using is switch. Okay, as we know, switch is really useful when a variable or expression is test of all the value and it can assume and different actions are taken. So we are using these types of pseudocode to make our user easy to access for logging and search for a book and create a new account for a beginner. So I think that switch is really suitable because it can help to make choices.
Okay, now we will go to the flowchart. As we can see in the flowchart, we have 4 types of symbol, which is oval, parallelogram, diamond, and rectangle. We use oval for start and end, parallelogram for inputs and outputs, diamond for the choices, and rectangle for the processes. In the flowchart, we use switch, control structure, and looping. As we can see, if the user want to use our system, they will read the main menu, and the main menu have 3 options. Firstly, the first option is login, the second option is create account, and the third option is ease. If the user want to log in, they will enter the option 1 and the system will make the user log into their account, and they need to enter their username, enter ID number, enter title of the book, enter author name, enter the date of checkout book, and after that the system will break. After the system break, the system will start looping. If the user choose option 2, which is create account, the system will make they enter the name as account holder and enter the create username, enter ID number, and after that the system will print out the confirmation ID and print account created, and after that the system will break. After the system break, the system will start looping again. Okay, if the user choose option 3, the system will print out thank you for using our apps, and the system will ease.
This is our Haira Bookshop C++ application. Okay, the coding. We start this coding with header, which is include IOStream, and then we use using namespace std for our objects and variables, and then we declare the variables, which is string for the name, id, days, month, years, and title. And then we also use void for intro, login, create account, and also exit. We use string in this coding to store texts, and we use void because void is the function that does not have a return value. Okay, then we have int main. Int main here is as a function and also as our home page. We use char to store a single characters or number or letter. Okay, next void intro. Okay, in this void intro we use char and system. We use char to store a single characters or number or letter. We also use system, so we can execute any command that can run on terminal if operating allows. In this void in login, we also use switch for our main menu. Okay, switch means to select one from many code blocks to be executed. This switch we use for our main menu is to choose whether to login or create account. Okay. In this switch we use a break keyword. Okay, this break keyword can save a lot of execution time because it ignores the execution of all the rest of the code in the switch break. Okay, next we proceed to the void login. In this void login we use char and int. Char we use for the name, and the int we use for the id, days, month, year, and title. As you know, char is for this, to store a single character, and while int is for to store integer without decimal. In this void login, user have to enter their username and also their ID number and complete all the information that we needed. The information that we needed is title, author's name, and date of the checkout. Next, proceed to the void create account. In this void, we also use the same as the void login, which is char and int for the same thing, which is char for the name and int for the ID, days, month, years, and title. In this create account, user have to enter to create a username, also enter their ID number, and the system will confirm the ID number, and yeah, your account is created. Okay, last one is the void exit. Void exit is allow user to exit from the apps, and in this void exit we use system.
We go to the last part of the slide, which is application image. After you run and compile the C++ programming, you will get the output. The main page is Haira library books checkout as the pictures shown. Hi, welcome to Haira library. And then after you press enter, you will go to the main menu, which we has number 1 login, number 2 create account, and number 3 exit. And you need to select your option. Number 1, it will appear username and ID number. You need to input your username and your ID number below. And then after you press enter again, you will need to complete all the information given, which is the title, author name, and the date of checkout. And then you need to press any key to continue. Go back to the main menu. Okay, after that, if you choose option number 2, you need to enter your name as account holder, because option number 2, you need to create account, right? So you need to create username and enter your ID number and confirmation ID. After that, your account has created. It will appear account created, and then you need to press any key to continue. Last page of our slide, which is after you press any key to continue, and if you want to go out from the output, you can go back to the main menu and choose number 3, and then you will exit from the output. The output for the exit will appear. Thank you for using our apps. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you for lending your ears and pay full attention to hear our project development. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.